Ethan shivered. The woods had teeth. They could swallow a boy whole and never spit out his bones. He pushed through a tangle of bare branches, their skeletal fingers scratching at his jacket. The air held its breath, thick and heavy, as if the forest itself was watching him. Each step forward seemed to deepen the gloom. The sun, a pale ghost behind the dense canopy, offered no comfort. Shadows danced at the edge of his vision, twisting into menacing shapes. A twig snapped underfoot, the sound unnaturally loud in the oppressive silence. Ethan hesitated, fear a knot in his stomach. He should turn back, he should run. But some unseen force drew him deeper into the woods. He was a moth, and the heart of the forest was a flickering flame. A glint of silver, like a shard of moonlight, pierced through the oppressive darkness. Ethan's breath hitched. He pushed forward, drawn by an unseen beacon. The trees thinned, revealing a clearing bathed in an eerie, ethereal light. In the center stood an oak, its gnarled branches reaching out like the arms of a giant. Moonlight painted its leaves silver, making it appear to shimmer and breathe against the backdrop of the black forest. The air here felt different, charged with an unseen energy. Ethan couldn't help but stare. The oak was ancient, its trunk thicker than any he'd ever seen. Scars and knots marred its surface, like the wrinkles on an old man's face. It was beautiful, but in a way that sent shivers down his spine. He took a step closer, then another, drawn by an invisible thread. The forest held its breath, watching, waiting. Ethan reached out a hand, his fingers trembling, and touched the rough bark of the oak. A jolt, like static electricity, shot up his arm. Ethan jerked back with a gasp, but it was too late. The air around him crackled with energy, the silence shattered by a chorus of whispers. They swirled around him, voices soft and low, impossible to decipher. They seemed to emanate from the oak itself, its leaves rustling as if in response to an unseen wind. Ethan spun around, his heart pounding in his chest, but the clearing remained empty. He backed away, fear turning his legs to lead. The whispers grew louder, more insistent, pressing in on him like invisible hands. They spoke his name, a sibilant hiss that sent chills racing down his spine. Ethan stumbled back, his eyes darting around the clearing. He was surrounded, trapped by the unseen whispers and the oppressive presence of the oak. The air grew colder, the scent of damp earth and decay filling his nostrils. He could feel eyes on him, watching his every move. A shiver ran down his spine, and he knew, with a certainty that chilled him to the bone, that he was not alone. Something lurked in the shadows, something ancient and powerful. "Who's there?" Ethan's voice was a choked whisper, barely audible above the rustling of the leaves. The whispers stopped. A heavy silence descended upon the clearing, broken only by the sound of his own ragged breathing. Then a low growl, deep and guttural, echoed through the trees. Ethan's blood ran cold. He was frozen in place, paralyzed by fear. The growl came again, closer this time, and he could feel the vibrations in the ground beneath his feet. He spun around, searching for the source of the sound, but the shadows held their secrets close. He had to get out of there. He had to run. But his legs wouldn't obey. They were rooted to the spot, as if bound by invisible chains. He was trapped, a prisoner in the oak's domain. The growl became a snarl, close enough to feel its hot breath on his neck. Ethan squeezed his eyes shut, bracing himself for the worst. He was going to die here, alone and forgotten, in the shadow of the whispering oak. Then a voice, cold and sharp as shattered ice, cut through the darkness. "He's mine now.